Hello fellow gamers, how the devil are we? So, for a season where we're meant to be outside, aka summer, there are a huge amount of games coming out and they look really good. Now one that especially caught my attention is a game that's coming out in less than 4 weeks, which is called Death's Door. Now the premise both sounds cool and cute at the same time, because in this game you have yourself playing as a Reaper, but not your conventional sense, because this time the Reaper is indeed a crow. And if you watch the trailer, you'll get this beautiful sense about the hero, that he's not this super strong, up and coming, godlike entity. He's just a guy doing his 9-to-5 job. He doesn't seem to enjoy it very much. He's a crow, he can't drive, he's on the bus and, he's falling asleep, he's obviously tired, and it makes him extremely relatable. Anyway, I'm going to give you as much details about the game as I can, and you can make up your decision if you like it or not. Let me know in the comments as usual, but here we go. So, the game is published by Devolver, but more importantly, it's made by Acid Nerve. If you don't know who Acid Nerve are, you might recognise their title, which was Titan Souls, which was a similar sort of vein as Death's Door is, which is basically, it was a top-down, pixel-esque, dungeon scrolling boss fighting game with some novel mechanics. And when I say novel, the idea was simple. You died on one hit and so did the boss, but it became a beautiful ballet of dancing and dodging, trying to find the weak spot that was on the boss, and what you basically had to do was hit it with your bow and arrow. And this had some mixed feelings from the community. The game overall was deemed a success, but as you can imagine, dying in one hit isn't for everyone, so some people loved it and some people hated it. It was a real Marmite mechanic. So let's talk a little bit about Death's Door. So, if you've watched the trailer, you'll kind of get the feeling that this is a bleak but very beautiful world inside. So there's lots of monotone greys, but there are lots of bright, vibrant colours, and one of them is comes off his sword and, various abilities that spew everywhere. There's a big house boss I can see from the trailer where he's firing a giant red laser. So it sets up this kind of beautiful contrasting, just display of colours for you to enjoy. And more importantly, kind of really builds up the atmosphere I think they're trying to portray in the game itself. So unlike Titan Souls, this is a more melee-centric game. So there's, various melee weapons as promised. There are arrows, and there's also different magic abilities that, you can use to get around the maps. I don't know if it is a build-centric style of game, but there are ARPG elements. There are stats that you can put into different attributes, so I imagine that you can build around a certain play style. Always it makes it more interesting when you can, but I also feel that there probably are abilities tied to certain events in the game, and you'll have to use them to kind of progress or whatever, so sort of some sort of Metroid elements. And as I previously mentioned, on Steam, you've got the ability to customize your character's stats and master abilities and upgrade them as you wish. So maybe a similar sort of vein as Hades, where you can, play any style you want, and then you just put your points that you gain from, I guess, killing bosses or looting, etc., into your weapons and go from there. So in terms of the actual story, which is probably worth mentioning because it looks like it could be quite interesting. So you start off, there's a soul that's stolen, and you must track down the guy who stole it, and then this leads you to a realm that is untouched by death, and then you have, the adventures all sprawl from there. But aside that, I don't know too much. It's no surprise there are some cool looking bosses. I've already seen one that looks like a big house with a Yamato cannon or laser beam coming out of his face. There was some sort of squid monster, and there was also a giant frog that, when it jumped up and down, it destroyed the floor underneath. So, yeah, I'd imagine different biomes, different bosses, and looks like there are also different enemies for you to face about as well. So I was scanning the pictures on the website, and I did notice that there are a few kind of locked gates. So this kind of makes me feel that maybe there is some Metroid elements to this, that you have to go to different areas first and unlock the abilities, and then they give you access to different areas, and maybe there will be some backtracking elements which will allow you to, for the completionist to enjoy, and all those kind of additional bonus treasures, and allows you to expand your stats all over the place if you want to finish the boss in some sort of mad super power crow mode. But overall, I've got to say, these guys are keeping it pretty close to their chest. I've scanned most media outlets and haven't found anything. The website doesn't give much more than what I've discussed. And also on the Steam page, pretty much we've elaborated on all the details. So, yeah, there we have it. So let me know what you think. I'm really excited for this. This is only 4 weeks away, so not too long to wait. And well, if I find anything else out, I will let you know. But until then, have a great one. I would say order it on Steam now. They have a sale still. It is going to be on for another couple of days, so you might be able to pick it up for a little bit of a discount. But until then, have a good one, and I'll be back with more news soon.